Professor Roberto Ferreira. Estou aqui para colocar para vocês vídeo 23, Precious Plastic 4. Essa aqui é o vídeo o último da série da Precious Plastic, tá? Com o restante do material que eu tinha legendado deles. Como eu falei antes, vocês podem entrar lá na web deles, entrar no site e tem muito mais coisa, tá? Mas isso é até onde eu segui. Então segue para vocês aí agora, tá?
Welcome to a new Precious Plastic video. In this video series we're going to build an entire Precious Plastic workspace inside a shipping container. In the previous video we bought ourselves a container and cut out 2 big holes in the side. And in this video we're going to make the entire interior for the container. You can download all the technical drawings and blueprints on preciousplastic.com. If you have a question, feel free to post the topic in our forums. And now we're gonna get started. So now the container is still empty, but we're gonna fill it up. And we start from this side and work towards the end. And in this area is where the plastic comes in. So we need to have some space to sort it out. Then it's being shredded, then a place for the molds, then the machines, and in the end the display. So we're going to do all of that in this video, but we're going to start off here with the bags. So the frames are mounted to the wall and we're going to put in these big bags later, because first we're going to make a storage system for the shredded plastic. Alright, so we finished the sorting. Now we're going to make some storage shelves. It's good to have some shredded plastic in stock, because this is your raw material, your gold, so it's good to organize it properly. So let's start. Here we're going to install a storage system to store all our shredded plastic in buckets. You can just get yourself a shelf system, but we're going to make one ourselves, so you can do it as well. Here we have the metal frames for the storage. Next we're going to add some wooden shelves. Storage finished. Next we're gonna make a little table. So we finished the storage system. Now we're gonna make a table. This is an easy one.
Welcome to welding.
basic as well. We built this one ourselves, but you could also get an existing one. When you're running a workspace, it's nice to have some additional storage for your tools, molds, equipment. So we're going to make this storage system based upon old plastic crates. Super good for organizing stuff. So the storage is made for some basic crates. You just slide them in on a few profiles and you can access them both ways. I also made a bigger version of that. You can see the video here. But for now you just need to adapt the frame to whichever crate you have around, so you can store your molds, tools, that kind of stuff. Right, next we're going to make something to wash the plastic. We do always suggest people to bring their plastic clean and washed, so we can really focus on shredding and melting. However, we do like to provide the option to wash it, so we're going to install 2 buckets here made from a barrel. We got this nice second-hand big plastic barrel from a nice HDPE, but we're going to not shred it, we're going to use it to make a washing system on the door, so you can open it up and wash your plastic. Okay, so we installed the washing. It should be super strong. To gather the plastic, we're going to put a small basic crate outside. This is where people can throw in their collected plastic. You can also use something existing, but we're going to show you how to make it yourself. So first we welded a little framework on the door, a little bit like the others. And here we're going to put on the wooden bucket. To make the box we're going to use wood. And for wood you don't need to buy new fancy wood. You could use it from old pallets, or here we are in a building that's going to be demolished. So the ceiling contains a lot of nice wood. So we just strip it down, take it out, and if we sand it again it's going to look super nice. So we finished the wooden box on the frame. So basically people bring their plastic and we can sort it out. Now on to the next one. In the back of the container we're going to install some frames to display the objects that are made inside this container. It's nice to showcase them and show people what you can actually do with plastic. If you need to weld a lot of cubes from the same size, it's worth making one wooden mold. So you can easily make sure everything is straight and aligned before you weld it together.
Ooh la la.
Alright, so we finished the display. And when you make this thing, make sure to do it carefully, because on this side of the container everything is pretty rough and you see plastic like a waste material. But here you really want to show that it's precious and valuable, the things you made. So make sure that the display area is well made and that you take care of the little details. So now we have this one ready, so we're gonna do the last part inside, which is actually install the machines. So the last step is to include all of our machines. But we're not going to show you how to do that in this video, because we have that very well documented on our website with blueprints and technical drawings and step-by-step instruction videos. We did apply a few hacks and tweaks in here to make it a bit more optimized for the container. So here we have the shredder. It looks a bit different than the shredder from the video, because this is version 2.1 and in the video it's version 2. Not a big difference. There's a few small changes we did. We made it a little bit lower so it's more stable. We changed the hopper and changed a few things in the laser cutted part so it's easier to make. Not huge changes. Shredder 2.0 still works good, but if you want to know how to make this one, you can find it in the download kit. Alright, so here we have the compression machine. Also a few small changes compared to our version 2. The main difference is that the compression area is outside of the oven, which makes it easier to build, and you can be a bit more productive because you can swap in and out molds, which makes it faster. So version 2 is also still good, but this is just a small update. You can also find it in download kit. Here's the injection machine version 2, same as the video. However, we added a small hack, and that's to mount it to the wall. Again, this only works if you actually have a wall, but it saves a lot of framework. So for instance, if you have the original one, it's standalone, but you also need to build this whole framework. So if you have the chance to put it on your wall, it saves a lot of work. And also this drawing you can find in the download kit. And finally we have the extrusion machine. Our normal extrusion machine, we only added a different electronics box. This time laser cut it from wood. You could also make it from metal. Alright, so we completed the second step of setting up your own precious plastic workspace. If you have any questions, feel free to post the topic in our forums. And if you need to download all the blueprints and technical drawings, go to our website. Now in the next step we're going to do the final one, which is exciting, is to give it a paint job and add some last accessories, so really finishing up the entire project. Welcome to a new Precious Plastic video. In this video series, we'll show you how to set up a precious plastic workspace inside a shipping container. So in the first video, we bought a container and cut out some holes in the side. In the previous video, we made the entire interior for the workspace. And in this video, the last one, we're gonna finish it up, add some branding and add some last accessories. You can download all the technical drawings and blueprints on preciousplastic.com. If you have a question, feel free to post the topic in our forums. And now we're gonna start with the first step, which is painting. And the first thing we're gonna do is take everything out so we can paint it. Ready? So one of the things before painting a container, which is a lot of work, is also sanding. And it's going to take a lot of work, so we invited a lot of people from the internet to help us out. And now it goes super fast. container is painted white. Do note that this is quite labor intense and can be pricey to paint your entire container. But we like to make a workspace that is really nice and where you like to work in. But if it's above your budget, you could also skip it or do it later on in the process while you earn some money. Alright, so we reinstalled everything back in the container, but this time nice and freshly painted. Now we're gonna hook up the electricity. We're gonna start in that corner with a cable, then we split it up to the extrusion machine and the shredder. Then another cable to these two machines. And while we're at it, we also add a few lights in the middle. So next up is we're gonna power up the container. Yeah, so the next step is electricity. You can download the schematics of this in our blueprints. And the exciting thing is, once this step is done, everything works. Okay. So to make it easy, we installed one plug on the outside, which powers up the entire container. And in order to power it up, you just plug it in the electrical grid, and you're good to go. So now we can put on some lights and run machines. Next, we're going to install a ventilation to make sure we have fresh air in here. This is something that is often overlooked, but an important element because we want to make sure you're happy and healthy. If you want to read more about safety, we added the document in our download kit. So now let's start making the ventilation. Okay, so I'm not going to show in detail how this thing is made because it's pretty straightforward. It's just a metal frame with some wood inside. So if you have the drawing, which you can download, you can easily build it if you're already this far into the video. Or you could use any other type of ventilation system. In the end, it doesn't matter that much. You just need to make sure that it sucks out the fumes. And to do that, we installed one motor here, which takes care of all the air. And on the outside, the air is blown out. And we installed this cover to make sure the rain and the water doesn't go in the ventilation. Alright, so the next step, we're going to add accessories. And this is a fun thing to do. It makes working in a container more pleasant and fun. And I'll show you 8 different things we like to install there. But this is also the part where you can unleash your own creativity and come up with new interesting ways and hacks to work inside of here. So the first thing we installed is a scale to measure the plastic. So people bring it, we can measure how much it is, and then we give them something in return. It's just a normal scale. We added this one on here with a magnet, which is super nice. However, it can also be hard to get or expensive. So you could also just drill a hole and put a bolt in there. So next we installed the counter. It's just nice to use when people are bringing stuff in and you giving something back, that you have some space for that. And you can also put on some additional things. Next we installed a pin board. It's where you can place some small notes, pins, folders, or even a clipboard where you write down the amount of plastic you get from a person with the date, so you can keep track of everything that comes in. It's just a good place to store all your information. Next we put a logo on each different type of plastic for each bag. In this way you can really separate it. For instance, here we have PET number 1, HDPE number 2. We put the templates in the download pack, and a good way to put them on there is if you make a triangle, you put it on the back, and then with a marker you can just draw around it and later color it. It's a quick and easy way to mark your bags. And above each bag we mounted a metal grid. It's a good way to display your product, so you just tie them around with a little rope. And then you can easily see where the plastic should go. So for instance, an old cassette box goes into this bag together with the cups, which is all polystyrene. There you put in flower pots and DVD boxes. So it's a quick visual way for people to separate plastic. On this wall we mounted some hooks made with extrusion machine. It's where you can put on your jacket or your caps when you work during the day. And on this wall we mounted a poster. We used our melting temperature poster because it's kind of a nice reference when you work with plastic. However, as you can imagine, you can also put up your own poster. And last but not least, we mounted a little tool rack on the wall with the most essential tools you're going to use when you recycle plastic. The rest of the tools you can store them in the crates, but these are the ones you often grab or need, so it's easy to get them close to your working table. So now we finished the entire inside of the container. Everything is here. Now the last final step is that we're gonna paint the logo on the outside plus some additional branding. So last stop. Alright, so the final stop we're gonna add the branding, which is some text on the front, on the door, and the logo on the back side. Now the style of Precious Plastic is very handwritten, which is made to be copied. So if you're going to paint it on here, it's going to look exactly like the original because it's very handmade. So don't worry too much if you're not a good painter, I'm sure it will be okay. There are several ways to put text or logo on the container. You could use stickers or just start painting it. However, my hand is not that steady, so I rented a beamer which projects the logo on the container, so I can just paint on top of it, so I'm sure it's all in the right proportions and it makes sense. A cheaper alternative is also to use a projector where you just put on a black sheet and it projects from there. So yeah, let's get started painting. Alright, so now the container is fully ready. Everything is on and in there, ready to recycle plastic. The only thing you might want to do is to transport it to a place if you haven't built it at the final location yet. And if you want to do that, there are a few things to keep in mind. So first you want to detach the counter because it sticks out a little bit, so you need to unscrew it so it is completely flat on this side again. Second, you need to detach this plug so it's also flat on this side, and now it's ready to transport on a truck. And if you want to ship it overseas on a boat, you need to make sure to put back the original stickers that were here that contain all the information about the container. Yeah. Alright, so that was the last step of setting up your own Precious Plastic workspace. It's ready now. Make sure to send us a picture of your container. We would absolutely love to see it. I mean, you put a lot of effort in this thing. Now we have one final video in this series where we're going to show you how this thing works step by step, from collecting to separating to shredding, just to have a full understanding of how a workspace like this runs. I would say that's also the most fun video to watch. So I will see you there. Welcome to a new Precious Plastic video. So we built an entire plastic recycling workspace inside this old shipping container. We grinded, welded, sanded and put all the equipment inside to work with. And you just need electricity and you can park it anywhere in the world to start recycling plastic. And in this video I'll show you how this thing works. So basically people can bring their plastic waste to this little frame on the left. It's being collected, written down how much people bring, and then it's being put into this collection point. So we always advise people to bring their plastic cleaned, but if they don't, they can still wash it here in these two washing barrels. We sort it out on different types. So Mattia is doing that right now. So separating the polypropylene from the polystyrene from the polyethylene. And once we've done that, we're going to shred the plastic. So Sonja is doing that right now. So she's going to put the plastic inside, and once it comes out of the machine, we get this small granulate, which we use in the machines to make new products. And here we have sort of our material bank with all the different colors and different types. So it's nice if you use different colors, because then you can play around a bit and make gradients or make mixed colors. It's a bit like painting. And once we have the shredded plastic, we're gonna create objects with it. So Jerry now is here working with the machines. Here we have the compression machine, but he is working with the injection, and he's making a wall grip mount. So he's putting on the mold, the plastic is being heated, and once it's hot enough, we can inject it, so we have a new object made with the plastic. So in this area we have 3 different machines, all have a different technique to melt the plastic and turn it into something new. It depends what you want to make, which machine to use, but overall a lot is possible. And once the products are ready, we have this wall on the back. It's like a little shop where we can display the products made with the machines. So Jerry just made his wall grips, which people can now buy. Come on. Okay, alright, so that was basically our plastic recycle workspace, how it works. Now we share all the blueprints and technical drawings on how to build this thing yourself online with instruction videos to do it step by step. Visit preciousplastic.com if you want to see and know more about that. Thanks for watching this video and see you again in the next one.
Bem, esse aqui é o último vídeo da série, tá? E eu não legendei ele por falta de tempo, e até porque é um bate-papo geral que ele faz, não tem nada de construção, né? E para vocês treinarem inglês de vocês, eu vou mostrar ele sem legenda, tá bom?
A few weeks ago we won 300,000 euro. And we're going to use all of this money to fight the plastic waste problem, inviting passionate people from around the world to work with us to find a solution for this big plastic waste issue. And it's going to be free and open source for the entire world to use. Alright, so let me explain. We've actually been working on this topic already for over 5 years, developing machines to recycle plastic, and people all over the world use them to gather local waste and turn it into something valuable. And with this we created a movement, a big online community. You can find all of the information on preciousplastic.com. And it's cool having 200 plastic recycling workspaces around the world and a new one popping up every week. However, the plastic problem is way bigger than that.
So we came this far thanks to people donating their money, supporting us on Patreon, and volunteering their time and skills to make this project happen. Basically, we had no budget and a very small team to execute our plans. Now, having 300,000 euros is a huge boost for the project. For the first time ever, we can put together a complete team of designers, developers, engineers, activists to work together. And especially for this massive operation, we have a brand new space right in the center of Eindhoven, the Netherlands. Dave, can you show them?
It's this space. It's pretty big, and there's another space here as well. I haven't even seen it. So we can actually use this space for 1 year for free. So this is where we're gonna develop Precious Plastic version 4. So yeah, that's a pretty cool gift. And we're gonna start next month, September 2018. Here's how we're gonna do it. We got a workspace, a solid plan and budget. We're gonna use all of this to facilitate over 40 people from around the world, all working in here on the plastic waste problem. And we haven't figured it all out yet. It's probably gonna be chaos. We need to figure out visa, places to sleep, kitchen, food, housing, toilets, materials, teams. It's gonna be intense. We're gonna go full on until either we solve the problem or we run out of money. And it's probably gonna be the latter. Either way, it's going to be one massive open source collaboration. So if you ever wanted to work on this problem, this is the time. Come to the Netherlands with us and develop this version. Visit next.preciousplastic.com for more information and see what we need help with. And make sure to follow our monthly news to see how this massive operation unfolds. Oh, and do make sure to share this video around so we can gather the best possible team in the world.
Estou sempre à disposição nos meus e-mails para tirar qualquer dúvida que possa ter ficado. Não se furtem de me consultar. Um abraço a todos.